Dylan Gallant, good morning. Edmund, good morning. I see you watched that video, Edmund. That's funny. I got a ways to go as I build my strength back. I took the hundreds out today for a few sets. But I got a ways to go. Sway, good morning. My top favorite romantic love songs. Dylan, that's a good question. Well, you know, there are different kinds of romantic love songs. You got your R&B love songs. You got your classic old melodies. Like my wedding song that we did our first dance to, Marissa and I, was an oldie. We danced to Unchained Melody, which is a song that has a special meaning to us. And I love that song. That's a great, everybody remembers that scene from Ghost, you know? But there's a lot of good, like 90s R&B romantic love songs. You know, I guess it depends on the mood that you're in. I like the song. So there's a song, it's actually a remake. It's a cover of a song. There's a rock band that I like called Asking Alexandria, and they cover the song Perfect, which I think they actually do better than the original. So those are a couple of really good ones. Chest day today, felt good. Incline dumbbell presses, I did 3 sets with the 100s today. 10, 9, 8, did them real slow. And then I did a drop set with the 50s for 30. Then I bust out some high reps on the Smith machine incline. Then I did some incline dumbbell flies and finished up with some pec deck. Not quite as much volume today because I was pushing a little heavier weight. What is my opinion on meth as a pre-workout? Well, although I don't think that I've ever tried meth, however, there is a time I may have accidentally this crazy stripper experience that I had many years ago in Vegas, taking some bootleg ass Molly that definitely wasn't Molly. Kept me up for like 3 days. That was scary. But I would say that from an energy perspective, it's probably fantastic. The problem with methamphetamines, amphetamine sodium also, like Adderall, very different, but anything in that category causes very strong capillary restriction, which is counterproductive to training. So from an energy standpoint, very good. But from a muscle building standpoint, very bad, because the more capillary restriction, the less blood can get into the area. Are we going to see BPJ this year? Probably not. I mean, I could do some sort of solo thing on here, although based on the way my videos are going, nobody would watch it. People show up for these Q&As, and that's it. I appreciate you guys coming in here for the Q&As. These Q&As seem to do pretty well, but my actual videos are doing terrible. Nathan, I saw that you're growing out of your shirts, brother. I like that. I like that. What size are you gonna have to go into, Nathan? Let's see here. Fred Durst at you. Fred Durst is a lot older than me. Although I am getting up there in the years. Vasilis Katsaros. I like that name. How are you? It still sucks you and Aaron fell apart because of Chris, the guy who, yeah, you know, I honestly, I'll tell you, there's a lot of things that if I could go back in time, I would handle differently. A lot of things, you know, I think that, I won't speak for Aaron, I'm sure he probably feels that way also, but on my side, I think my ego got the best of me in many ways, And I took a lot of things as attacks, which really weren't attacks. They were smart business moves for the company. And that guy was not a smart business move by any means. It was actually a terrible business move. That was the situation of me taking care of another one of my friends, somebody that I thought was a friend who actually might have actually had sex with my ex-wife, which is crazy. But anyway, I wish him the best now, Aaron. Chris Neely, new fan here, found you from El Beatty, my boy. Thank you, man. I appreciate you coming on here. Cardio Q&A, listen, I answer anything and everything. I'm not afraid for the tough questions. And as far as all the science and training stuff goes, I do my best to answer them from personal perspectives and honest perspectives. Yes, he did, Edmund. I mean, look, I don't think that my marriage was going to be saved regardless. And you know what? Hey, it all worked out great because I went through a rough patch, then eventually met the love of my life, Marissa, who I've been with for 6 years now, and we got a baby on the way. Lots of blessings, but yeah, I believe he was absolutely, people were spotting them together. It was very strange, very, very strange. Badabuco, everybody knew I was the grill master, baby. I miss those days. Dylan says, I developed heart issues from meth. I kept doing it even though the high was getting shorter. I thought it was my tolerance, but it was actually my heart getting weaker. Man, that's scary. When I was in prison, the guys would speak about meth in the most glorified way. Like listening to them, I'll tell you, I would listen to them and be like, man, this sounds like a fun time. They would say that you give a girl a hot rail and she becomes a sex freak and this and that. And, I could tell you they really hyped up the good side of it, but I've also seen on the bad side some of these guys in the program that I was in that were really bad lifetime addicts, and these guys looked rough, looked like they were in rough shape. Badabuco, baby. Oh, thank you, Badabuco. I'm glad you like that chest workout. Man, I don't know. My algorithm is I think crushed on here, most likely due to these Q&As, but the Q&As are my favorite thing that I got going on right now. Let's see, Mark Dog says, good morning, I have access to pharma grade Rad 140, but no access to oxandrolone. Do I feel they are similar? No. However, I do like Rad 140. I do like Rad 140, and for a short blast, 30 days or so, I think you'll enjoy it. When it comes to the SARMs, I suppose I should say when it comes to orals in general, I prefer short blasts. But if you do not have the access to the oxandrolone, then yeah, take the Rad 140 for a spin, you'll like it. You don't need very much of it. I've been hooked on listening to drug trip stories, and the meth psychosis ones are insane. Yeah, Nathan, the program that I was in prison, the RDAP program, really it was a behavior program masked as a drug program. So, most of the guys in there had some sort of drug issue or case. And man, some of the meth stories were just crazy. Crazy. Am I a big coffee tea drinker? No, I do drink kratom tea that I brew myself. I like to have a cup of coffee on Wednesday and Sunday. I enjoy my pre-workout the other days. Let's see, Silent CS. What should I do to heal both my herniated discs? I've been in extreme pain for a week. MRI came back as 2 herniated discs. Which discs are they? Silent CS, are they down there low, very common? L4, L5 are very common ones. Those are that causes debilitating back pain. But which discs do you have herniated? Scatman, I did 1 or 2, I think. Did I do 2? Yeah. I did 2 when I was on house arrest. and shit my brains out both times, of course. Couldn't hold it for as long. Felt good afterwards, to be honest with you, but since I've moved here, I haven't gotten back in the swing of it again. You know, I was doing them all the time because I was doing the ozone therapy right afterwards. Zionic, yes, I did on Sunday. So, today's lineup: Robbie Robinson, Flex Wheeler, Bob Paris, Guy Cisternino, my buddy Guy. Well, Guy, tough lineup for Guy here. So I'm going Flex Wheeler number 1, Bob Paris number 2. You know, Guy is gonna, I think, win some shots against Robbie Robinson. And Robbie's gonna beat Guy in some shots. Guy obviously has the leg development. Robbie probably more pleasing overall physique. Robbie Robinson was not a big guy by any means, neither is Guy. Extremely different physiques there. But I think Guy has a tough time with Robbie. Let's see, Dylan says, being a well-established man, what was it like being around career criminals, drug users? You seem like a very social, that would fit in anyway. So, it's funny that you asked that, because I have talked about this before. I changed my approach to prison halfway through, or a third of the way through, and I became extremely opposite of how I am on the outside. So, in the beginning, I had no problem adjusting to my surroundings. I'm kind of like a chameleon in life anyway. You know, I don't really necessarily fit in one group. I know I look like a meathead, but you can tell that when you look at my staff at my former company. It's such a mosh posh of different kind of guys. But in the program that I got in, it was so stressful. And this program, this accountability program, they called it, a lot of guys psychologically could not handle the program. And the program was essentially creating enemies in the community. They like to cause drama. That's what it's all about. And once I had gotten myself in some trouble, which I had no plans of getting in trouble. I wasn't really trying to break rules or anything like that. But once I got myself in trouble and really dodged getting thrown out of the camp, I completely became introverted and totally kept to myself. In fact, they were encouraging me to get out of my cube and get out into the community more, and that was like the one thing that was potentially holding me back, but I didn't fall for it. I stayed to myself in my books and focused on myself, and I got it through. I got through it that way. Okay, so L4, L5 herniated disc. You got the same ones as me. Those are tough ones down there. So as far as, I'll talk to you guys about herniated discs, and I'll also talk to you about degenerated discs, which is where I'm at now. You don't want to get to that point. So herniation, right, and degeneration, two different words, two different meanings. What does it mean? So a herniated disc, now what can happen with these herniated discs is whether the disc has slipped, it's inflamed, it can touch the nerve over there, and I forget the actual medical name of the nerve, but that can cause just horrific pain. In fact, it can be so bad that you can't even walk or stand up. And if you get in that kind of position, what they often have to do is get you on prednisone for the inflammation, give you a shot of Toradol for the inflammation. I've been there with both. So I have found that a TENS unit I have a tens unit that I use a lot actually. Whenever I jack up my back, I put the tens unit right down there on each side of my lower back, and I crank that sucker up. And you can't really lay flat because it aggravates the area, so you put a pillow under your knees and just let that tens unit do its thing on as high a setting as you can take, man. But prednisone works great. It's not something that you want to rely on, but prednisone works great. You can take all of the Advil and Aleve in the world, and it's not going to take care of that. Now, what you have to do when you're not all jacked up, though, is really focus on your core training and keeping your core strong. Because when your core get weak, that's what usually happens where you jack up issues with your back. I blew my back out mopping in prison. It was terrible. I had a brace, fortunately, that they gave me that I was able to wear. And, you know, I suggest when you're training, when you're back in the gym, you have to make changes to the way that you train. It's a good idea to use a belt. Avoid doing stuff that doesn't have support. And when I say support, I mean back support. So, you know, get rid of your bent over barbell rows. You know, be very, very careful with deadlifts and stuff like that. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. But when you're really, really jacked up, tens unit and ice works better than everything, to be honest with you. Let's see, let me scroll back here a little bit. Is Jason taking me out still? I don't know. I was actually texting with him last night, pretty funny. Jason told me last night that he sent me pictures of himself with his shirt off. And he said, he said, I look great for 40. I have a similar build to Superman. I said, you certainly have confidence. That's for sure. Zionic, what did you think overall of the Euphoria? Did you push your dose high like a lot of these people do? For a woman who's locked in her training, would Halo Elite or Anagenin be more beneficial for overall strength gains? The Halo Elite, man, is a game changer. Even for people like me that are juiced up. Kristen Graham was telling me how much it affected her not having the Halo Elite in the gym. I told her, I was like, take a Methaquad, split it in half or something if you want, if you're worried, until it comes back in stock. Obviously, they have it back in stock now. Anagenin, you know, laxagenin is, the data on laxagenin is very good because it increases protein synthesis, which, as you train and eat the right way when you're locked in, will absolutely help you build muscle. But man, the Halo Elite is very interesting the way this plant works. You know, usually plant products are very subtle, and that thing will make you strong right away. I mean, I swear by the Halo Elite. Yes, no ninjas for flex. You can't have any ninjas. EB says, I usually do hit on the treadmill, but what do you do? How much? So, I am a big advocate of hit cardio when it comes to getting the most done. You know what I mean? Like, people ask me all the time, like, what's the best way to do cardio? And I have to answer that in a broad statement. So I do low intensity, steady state cardio after my workout. So when you guys see me on here, I've already worked out, I come home, I've burned up all my glycogen for the most part in my workout, and now I feel I can just burn fat doing a nice long steady state of cardio. You know, usually I'm on here 45 minutes. But if you're talking about just the best as far as your bang for your buck, I mean, 14 to 20 minutes of intense hit intervals is gonna ramp you up. It's gonna ramp you up, and it'll keep your metabolism cranking for hours after you're done. So it's extremely efficient. But me, I just cruise on a steady state because between being fasted and post-workout, it's the most efficient way for me to do it. It's easier overall. I can sit and talk to here with you guys, makes the time pass. So, silence yes. I'm going to answer this question, but I'm going to give a disclaimer with this question. People ask me about Kratom all the time. I've been using Kratom for the better part of like 15 years, right? So I've tried everything. And because I've tried everything, I personally will not use extracts anymore because of a number of reasons. Number one, extracts wreck your tolerance. They wreck your tolerance. You're taking it to a whole new level when you do an extract. An extract is going to get you high. It's going to get you high. You're going to feel like you're on an oxy or something. For real, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. And after that, you're going to be like, whoa. And what happens is, it's a slippery slope. Before I went to prison, man, I was doing 6 or 7 OPMS Kratoms a day. Crazy. So when I got thrown into the detox in county jail, I had to detox from all that shit. And it was not fun. And I'll tell you, before I went in, I tried to cut them out. And honestly with you guys, when you try to cut them out, you start feeling sick. It's not as bad as being, dope sick, but you start feeling sick. It's a slippery slope. That being said, the OPMS is next level. The MIT 45 is not even close. The MIT 45 is okay. I found they usually made me feel kind of tired afterwards. The OPMS, man, it kind of felt like a combination of like Adderall and a Percocet at the same time. And I personally, I don't want to get to a point where I have to rely on anything anymore. I don't want to feel like an addict. I brew my teas. And listen, I could brew a gallon of tea, right? And I could drink a half of it. I could drink all of it. I could drink a third of it. And I pretty much get the same result. Don't feel weird if I don't have it. For instance, yesterday I only drank maybe like a third of what I normally drink. No big deal, you know what I mean? Just didn't feel like drinking it as much. I was at the doctor with Marissa, I had a lot going on. You don't want to get to a point where you're taking these extracts and you're not feeling good if you don't take them. Zionic says, started watching The Recruit. 2 episodes in so far, season 1. Yo, The Recruit is awesome. The Recruit is awesome. I loved The Recruit. Only 6 episodes in season 2. Blew right through it. I hope they do more soon. Nathan says, birthday in 2 days, we're going to have a massive pizza party. So I am not having a pizza party on the birthday. I think we are having a dinner. Marissa's throwing a little dinner action together. She knows I like Brazilian steakhouses. Thank you for asking. How is the AC in the new place? The AC is much better than the last place. But I'll tell you, being on the sloop, I'm hot at night on the sloop, man. The SLU PP332, I'm hot at night on that stuff. Would it hurt to do reverse hyperextensions with disc issues? So, I have occasionally, I bought a reverse hyper for the gym. And for the most part, yeah, I did some really slow. And I didn't push it too hard. I just did like 7 or 8 reps. And you could feel it getting real like tight in there. It's something I'd be very careful with. Trenacetate or trenanthate? I always liked trenacetate way, way better. When I was competing, I only used trenanthate 1 time. And, perhaps it just wasn't as good quality. But I preferred the acetate as far as the how fast you could notice the results. Is Jason taking me out still for my birthday? He has mentioned it. And he's also mentioned me taking me out for his birthday. Let's see, Badabuko asks, knowledge-wise about bodybuilding, how highly do you regard Evan Centopani? I met him and found him genuine, smart, and as a whip when talking nutrition and lifting. Well, Evan is just smart, period. So he and I used to have really deep, meaningful, and even oftentimes philosophical conversations about life and his opinion on family dynamics and whatnot. And he is a very, very smart man, just all around. So he's also very meticulous in the way he goes about things. So from a bodybuilding standpoint, he is very, very well thought out. Very, very well thought out. And he's a very good, rational thinker as well. So I hold him very highly when it comes to that kind of stuff. He was actually, I've said this before, you know, the last few years of my career, I didn't work with a coach. And people are like, oh, you're like the only guy that doesn't work with a coach. But I consistently would check in with Evan, where I'd either have him take a look at me, or I'd send him pictures and go over what I was doing. And he was really pretty much the only one whose opinion I would go with on things, and you know, helped me out quite a bit, actually. Jason Genova ball. I'm serious, guys. Jason Genova sent me a bunch of pictures last night, unsolicited, with no shirt on, and then he wrote, I look great for 40. Most my age look like shit. And I said, yeah, you look good, man. He actually does look better than he did last time. And then he wrote, I have a physique like Superman. And then I wrote, you certainly have confidence. And then he swung it into, can we go out for my birthday? And he said, can we go out for your birthday and my birthday and get together? I said, sure. Is that a Freudian slip? I don't know. At this point, I've gone around so many different subjects, I don't know what I'm even talking about anymore. Dylan. How about the Halo Elite taken with EpiCat? Personally, I'm going to be really honest. I don't really care for EpiCat that much. Honestly, almost discontinued it, but a lot of people like it. A lot of people like it. Now, Epi Smash that has the extracts together, if I'm taking anything, I'm going to take that. I would have discontinued EpiCat, but it's a strangely good selling product that people like. I mean, I remember Dragon Azumi, who's a Blackstone athlete forever, said that it made his stamina go through the roof. Now, epicatogen does have good data. I just personally, guys, whenever I was trying any of these things out, maybe it's because I'm such a meathead, I've always tried like super high doses just to see what would happen, because I'm curious. I have access to all this stuff. Like, haven't you ever been curious if you had an endless access to this stuff that you know for the most part nothing bad can happen, right? We're talking about, you know, plant-based dietary supplements. Maybe you'll poop your brains out or something like that. And I don't know, I can't say that I gave it a real shot to appreciate it the way that some of the people do. Tanya Miller, good morning. I have a neck impingement and can't do incline work for chest ever again. Ugh. Is there any way to stimulate the upper chest without doing inclines? Well, man, there's truly nothing you can do about it. Surgery-wise, getting anywhere around it. I actually don't do anything but inclines, to be honest with you. You know, I'll throw in pec deck and cable crossovers. So that's very, very tricky. But if you can do, if you're able to do pressing from a, you know, a shoulder perspective, an upright, you know, whether it's 90 degrees or 80 degrees, you're gonna get some chest involved in it. For instance, when you press with your shoulders, right? So when I do my shoulder presses, I don't press out here anymore. I actually press here, which is gonna work the chest also. Scatman says, remember your late night pool lives. PJ, you were sweating profusely and listened to me listen to MLP with cigar. Hey, good old days, baby. I used to love sitting out by the pool and smoking cigars, man. Especially with all the stress that I was going through with that case. Those cigars were that was like I would get in my zone. I'd put that cigar in, take that thing down to the butt. Especially when those extracts are hitting and you're feeling chatty. But again, let me digress and say, I personally won't mess with extracts ever again. Silent CS says, kratom extracts actually do make me feel like an oxy. Even gives me the same withdrawal feeling. Super, yeah. And I will tell you, if you're using a lot of them, it magnifies that. I remember when I was trying to reduce my dosing, I would actually wake up in the morning feeling terrible. Like I got run over by a Mack truck. And then as soon as I drank that extract, woo, ready to go. And that's a terrible way. That's a terrible way to be. A terrible way to be. Now, on a Wednesday, guys, when I just do cardio, I don't even finish my cup of coffee. And I'm ready to kill it. Keon, BLM, and Aaron. What a trifecta. GK Fitness, good morning, bro. Good to see you on here, man. How are you? Let's see. Silent CS asks, how is microdosing Tren acetate 10 milligrams a day for additional fat loss on 500 milligrams of test, 500 grams of mass per week? I think it would probably be fantastic. I'll tell you, I've never tried personally doing it that conservatively. And honestly, Silent CS, if you're on a 500 blast of test and mass, you may even want to try just 5 milligrams a day. Because I worked with a female bodybuilder that had used Tren before, and she wanted to do 5 milligrams a day for her last 4 weeks. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this, but she was hell-bent on doing it because she had already done it. And let me tell you, she did an incredible with it. Incredible. Was hard as a rock. She wound up winning. I'm not going to get into names on stuff like that, but so she wasn't using all the other stuff. So if you're already on 500 test and 500 mass, which is a great combo, I tried to do a few years back, maybe 6 years ago, I tried to do 50 milligrams of Tren every other day, and I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the side effects. So the second time around, I tried to do 25 milligrams a day. And I made it to day 9 or 10. And it was the sweating at night was so bad. And I was waking up feeling exhausted and depressed. And I could get my workout going decent, but I just felt so shitty. I was talking about it with one of my doctors who's a meathead also. And he was like, look, man, you're not a kid anymore. Shit's just going to hit you different. What do you want to mess around with Tren for anyway? And I said, I was just curious, really. On the hardening effect. When I was young, I could bang down 100 milligrams every other day, no problem. But things just hit harder. So who knows? Listen, maybe someday when I'm off of probation, I'll mess around again and see. But I do think that a 5-10 milligram daily microdose would do quite a bit. I see you're up early, GK Fitness. It's good to see you. Bolshoi jumping on. Mike Oldfield, Moonlight Shadow, or Maggie O'Reilly. Every time we touch, I get this, because every time we touch, I get this feeling. Good song. Tiny Miller, I'm a hot sleeper naturally, bed cooler, pad changed my goddamn life. Twin size pad, water pumps in. You know what? I tried one of those, and maybe I just had a shitty one, Tanya. Somebody had told me, and I got this one, and I felt like I could feel the pad too much, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. It wasn't an expensive, fancy one by any means, so maybe I just never need to get a better one. If you've read any of these people say that the SLU makes you hot at night, they are not kidding. They are not kidding. Some say they don't notice it. I've watched a bunch of different YouTubers talk about it. And that's the main thing that I've noticed as far as things that I would say I don't like about it. That's probably the main thing. Otherwise it's extremely effective. Let's see, Bolshoi. Any recommendations to find a sugar mommy, the one who'll take care of me financially, and we can date age 35 with this economy, not ready to take another job? Oh man, I'm feeling you on that one, bro. I'm feeling you. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. You might just gotta find an old retired businesswoman down here in the South Florida area, West Palm, Boca maybe, that wants a boy toy for the side. Is Michelle Obama packing heat? I don't think so. I do think it's hilarious though when people say that. Zionic, listen, I'm gonna file, but they haven't done me any favors, man. Otherwise, I still got 2 more years. Just a little treat. How much those pictures of Jason without shirt cost? I'm compelled to post them. However, I promised Jane that I won't do anything, so I'm not going to do it. Ipamorelin would give me carpal tunnel syndrome when I run 4 to 6 HGH at night. I don't feel anything in my hands at all. How come? That is a very good question. Are you sure that your GH is real? I got my hands on some Pfizer pens before my wedding and I screwed up the dose. My hands got wrecked. Nathan says, I like Epicat. I do it twice each year and I swear I've gained size each time I take it. Listen, if you got, guys, this is what I always tell everybody. If you monitor what you do, and I'm not saying you have to keep a journal. I kept a journal for years so I could check back to see what I was doing specifically. But if you're meticulous with the way that you eat, not the way that you train, but with the way that you eat, because if your eating's all over the place and you get fat or you don't get big, whatever, you have no one to blame but yourself because you're the one responsible for putting what you're putting in your mouth. Now, if that's out of the way, I really think it's great to try different things one at a time, do your own little test experiment, and make notes of everything that you've got. And that way you really know there's less variables coming into play on what's working. That's why for me, I ran the 5-amino-1-MQ first by itself, then the sloop by itself. Now I'm doing the RET at a low dose with the same dose of the sloop, and then once I go through this, I'll probably put the 5-amino back in, but no sense of running them all together at the same time. And then once I run all 3 of them together, I'll take a break, see how I do without them for a while, and then I'll pick a new time to come back in. Did I journal in prison at all? No, but I started journaling when I got out of prison. I journaled pretty much the whole time I was on house arrest, got out of it now. No, Tater Tot, I don't see that doctor at all anymore, so. I like that little blast, though, that little blast from the past there. Talk about, talk about somebody trying to really screw you over with that one. My pec recruitment is so damn good. I absolutely get an upper chest pump from shoulder presses, especially turn more forward. Boom, there you go, see? Tanya Miller jumping in with the help. Phil Collins, One More Night, or Dionne Warwick, I know I'll Never Love This Way Again. I'm trying to think of that song and not take the early Phil Collins wing. I think I got to hear the Dionne Warwick song to know it. Oh my God, thank you, Brianna Rogers. Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice to see you in here. The Laws, there she goes. There she goes. There she goes again. Or Sixpence None the Richer, Kiss Me. Is that, I don't know if I'm thinking of the right song. Is that Kiss Me? Something grass. Swing, swing. You wear the shoes and I will wear that dress. Oh, kiss me. Is that the right song? Regardless, I'm going with There She Goes Again. GK Fitness moving some heavy weight. Good for you, bro. Very good. I like that. Let's see. Silent CS says, my sleep is already garbage. I honestly don't get no shadows, but I do get a little hotter when I'm, yeah, I don't like the night sweats. I can't stand the night sweats. Anything that makes me sweat at night, it drives me crazy. I prefer to be cold when I'm sleeping. I could try the cooling mat again, I suppose. Yeah, man, you know, Silent CS, prednisone, baby. You want to wipe that inflammation out and recover faster rather than trying to deal with it? Ask for prednisone. You're being from Connecticut. Have you been to Sound Factory back in the day? Of course. Way back in the day. Way back in the day. Late 90s. Scatman, I don't think so. I don't think so. I haven't talked to her in forever. But I don't think so. What do I think is more effective, SLUPP or Cardarine? Definitely the Sloop. I do like Cardarine. But, and I haven't tried Cardarine in quite some time. Do like Cardarine. But I would say that I think the Sloop is definitely more effective. PJ, I have 680 testosterone, but low free T. I'm natural. Do you have any advice? I'm lost in this stuff. Well, the free testosterone is extremely important. It's much more important than the total testosterone because your total testosterone number is not too bad. Now we get into what can be done to try to change this. And it really has a lot to do with sex hormone binding globulin. And unfortunately, most of the things that you can try to alter this are going to potentially crash your testosterone, which you don't want. What I would suggest is there's really only one natural test booster that I think works good, and that's Apex Male from my old company, Blackstone Labs, because it's loaded up with all that stuff. And the good news is there's literally no downside to taking it because it's primarily plant-based. And it should absolutely elevate your free testosterone. Now, another thing that you can do is try supplementing with DHEA in high doses, or you could, take a DHEA-based prohormone and hope to get some conversion there. But that's tricky. When you want to stay natural, it's trickier. Because you could pop a Proviron and you'll actually see your free testosterone go up. But Now we're starting to get into, of course, the pharmaceutical stuff. Yes, Bolshoi, the old Jewish lady is the way to go for Sugar Mama, I'm telling you. Big Sexy said, did I tell you I went to the doctor, lost 10 pounds since October? Yes, you did. Celebration again. Am I competing? No, I'm so far out of that scene. Right now, just training hard. Once the baby comes, I'm gonna do a nice little diet, trim it up a little bit, see how things are looking. But for now, the most part, I'm just trying to be as healthy as possible, put some muscle on, let the fat come off slow and steady between the cardio and the training. Yeah, GK Fitness, I don't trust most of that underground GH. What is my favorite birthday cake? I prefer brownies or cupcakes. Well, I do enjoy brownies and cupcakes. I love carrot cake. I love carrot cake. Caprice Murray or Sean Clarita? Man, Caprice Murray was a freak. His legs were just crazy. I mean, I think Caprice Murray at his best, personally. But it's tough to say. I've kind of forgotten how he looked. Zionic. As long as your weight's coming down, just be happy. Just be happy. Because some of these things, I tend to be sensitive anyway. But the heat at night, oof. Fist pumping, baby. You know about those Jonathan Peter days. What a funny scene that was back in the day. Sound Factory, crazy. Cher, if I could turn back time. Or Roxette. She's got the look, she's got the look, she's got the look. What can I, na 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 na. Man, I think I gotta go Roxette on that one. I'd rather bang Cher if we're gonna be sexual with it. Looked at Infinity Pool trailer, it looks twisted. Dude, it's messed up. It's a great concept. You guys wanna watch a really creepy, trippy movie? Watch Infinity Pool. What's her name? The girl from the movie Maxine. I don't know if it's Mia or Maya Goth. She's awesome in this movie. She plays a lot of horror movies I've seen. Do I think 400 milligrams of Tren and 500 milligrams of Anavar is good for my first cycle at 14? Absolutely not. Don't be ridiculous, Samuel Socks. This guy looks like he was born 6 feet, 200 pounds. Speaking of born babies, so we went to the doctor yesterday. We actually have to go back again on Wednesday, but the baby is currently 5 pounds, 13 ounces already. So it looks like he's gonna be a pretty decent sized boy. Listen, I don't want him to be too big and rip her out when he comes out. TF, you're welcome. Good luck with it. Good luck with it. Scatman says carrot cake all day. Yeah, I love carrot cake. In Excess, Never Tear Us Apart, or Journey, Who's Crying Now? Two good songs. Hey, I love Journey, man. I gotta go Journey on that one. Journey's greatest hits. I used to rock to that in high school. Scatman, I agree, but it has to be cream cheese frosting. The most meathead thing that I saw recently was, it's funny, this is coming right to my head. There's a guy that lives in my complex. I heard he owns a gym or a personal training studio. He's in great shape. Kind of looks like maybe like a men's physique competitor. Lean, good quality muscle. But I saw him out by the pool, in front of us, by the way, with his headphones on, and I'm pretty sure he was dancing to get his cardio and tan in at the same time, because his arms were raised to the sun, and he was kind of like flexing and gyrating, and he did it for about 15 minutes, checked his watch and whatnot, and then left, and I was like, man, That's crazy. I can't imagine ever doing something like that, but hey, God bless him. God bless him. That was the most meathead thing I saw. I told her, I go, he is dancing for his cardio. That's why he's looking at his watch. And he's getting the sun in for his tan. Put his shirt on when he was done, and that was it. Made sure he had a little audience. Watched Craven, 2 thumbs up. I'm glad that you told me that, Zionic. I've been waiting. I am a mensch, but I do have a little bit of Hebrew in me. I've been waiting for the price to come down on that. John Jones, I've been doing good, man. I've been on this thing for 51 minutes. I'm about to start getting off. 'Cause I'm gonna keep on loving you. Good song. Lips Inc., Funky Town, or Imagination, it's just an illusion. Can't you take me to the funky town? I like that old disco stuff. Let me see if I can speed round through some of these. Nathan was born 9.5 pounds. Whoa. Yes, I am Zionic on the slew. Did I play music when I planned the Braun spawn? Which song did you cream pie to? So, this time around, no. We did a lot of musical sex experiments before I went to the prison. Mostly 90s R&B for that stuff. To be honest with you, we're pretty sure that this one was a truly random one where basically she just hopped on me one night. And that was it. You know, it was like an unexpected Wednesday. Nathan says, brother, my lady is a baker for a hobby, and she makes the best carrot cake cupcakes in the world. I'm going to sort out sending you some. Oh man, you don't have to do that. Listen, I appreciate the thought. Maybe one day when I'm allowed to travel, I'll get myself out there and I can have one fresh. Bolshoi, Madonna, American Pie, or Vitamin C, Graduation, Friends Forever. I didn't love American Pie. I like my old Madonna. Well, I take that back. Madonna has been good all generations, although I really prefer the very old Madonna. I like Borderline. Anyway, I'm going Vitamin C on that one. Rank this physique. I'm almost done, so I'm going to speed up out of here, guys. Rank the physique lineup. Jersey Shore. Mike the Situation, Paulie, Ronnie, and Vinny. Wow. So, for a very short time, Ronnie got in really good shape. And I would say Ronnie at his best was number 1. And then I would say Mike the Situation at his best was number 2. Paulie number 3, Vinny number 4. I don't know about that. That's a tough one though. It's a tough one. Honorable mention Susanna Hoffs, the Bengals. What a babe. Oh, I loved her. We talked about her at GK Fit, the other day. I loved her. Loved her. Paul has answered at this point. I haven't seen him, Tanya Miller. I really haven't. So I'm thinking back to the old days of when I saw them at their best. So if Paulie is in good shape now, then I haven't seen it. But I believe that. I definitely believe that. Would I rather conceive a baby to DMX, Get It on the Floor, or Black Eyed Peas, Let's Get It Started? I like this question. I definitely like this question. I'm definitely going DMX, though, all day over Black Eyed Peas. I do love Fergie. I think she's very hot. But DMX, man, whew. If I get some DMX on, I feel sorry for her. Let's just leave it at that. I'll give her some Advil afterwards. All right, guys. 55 minutes. I officially have to go to the bathroom now. So I appreciate you guys doing this with me. I will be back tomorrow. New chest training video is up on the YouTube. Went up last night. Check it out. Just go check it out right after you get off here. It's a good one. Push Chris pretty hard in that one. Guyver, 1994 movie, or Tremors, 1990. I liked Tremors, the big worms. Definitely going Tremors. Tournament of bands for next time. Yes, I appreciate the thought that you guys put into this stuff. Let's do it. Let's Get It On, Marvin Gaye, classic. Yes, classic. I like R&B for a sexy time. Little Jodeci, Keith Sweat, of course. But you give me some hardcore 90s rap, little ODB, absolutely. All right, guys, I love you. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Peace out, bye.